Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be another one of my mobile photography uploads, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It's 5 tips on how to make your sunset photos so much better. I promise it's going to be a lot better after this video. Tip number 1, don't make it boring. What I mean by that is no clouds, not really colors to look at. You can have colors, but if you don't have clouds, it's not gonna add more to look at. It's just gonna be bland, it's just gonna be colorful. But if you have clouds and you don't have color, I mean, there's really no point in uploading that sunset photo or even taking it if you have no colors but just clouds. You'll really want that perfect balance between color and clouds. Now I'll show an example of how much I've improved with my sunset photography in the end. So just stay tuned and wait till the end. But it's very important to not have a boring photo. You'll want to have clouds with color and a good amount of clouds with color. So step number 2, I just brought it up. It's color with clouds, that perfect combination. It just won't be boring at all. That's tip number 2, so that's out of the way. Tip number 3, you'll want great color in the sky. Now, what I mean the sky is the blue part. You'll want that perfect alignment between like orange and then blue. And I'm not talking about, it'll be like yellow, orange, light blue, and then dark blue. The best way to get some really nice color is when it's yellow, orange, and then dark blue. What I mean by dark blue is when you play with the dark blue setting in Lightroom, because that's what I personally use, you can really take control of your blue colors in the sky. Now what I do is I like to make it like a teal color. I like to desaturate it and bring down the luminance so it'll be a lot darker but still have that desaturated look. I'll show an example at the end. It's really gonna make the picture have more originality. Not many people do it. From as far as I'm concerned, not that many people do it, but it'll really make your photo stand out. You'll want bright oranges too, bright yellows, because if you have bright yellows, bright oranges, and you have that dark blue will be nice teal, desaturated, and the luminance will be down. But since you got bright oranges and bright yellows, you can put more saturation into that and turn down the luminance just a little bit, just enough for it to make a big difference. It'll really bring out the details in that part of the photo. Tip number 4, shoot in DNG file. In other case, RAW. Now, for me, I have an iPhone XR. It has a capability to shoot DNG, and DNG is kind of Lightroom's format of RAW. It's like an editable version of RAW. So DNG is just RAW, and you'll really want to start shooting with that, and you'll want to learn how to shoot with RAW because it is so much of an advantage in JPEG. It's gonna take a while to get used to, but once you get the hang of it, you'll really get it. I mean, it took me a while to get used to shoot DNG. I mean, I was stuck with an iPhone 6 that didn't have a capability to shoot DNG, so once I got this phone, it was a big jump, and I had to get used to shooting it in that way. It'll just bring out the highlights even more. You can turn down your highlights to 100%. All the details will show. You can bring up the shadows to 100%. All the details will show. There's going to be some noise, but all the details will show. The 5th and final tip I want to tell you guys is mess around with your exposure compensation. And this is specifically for Lightroom users. Mess around with your exposure compensation. Now, the way I do it is I'll shoot it at the normal setting. I'll bump it up to 0.7, and then I'll bump it up to 1.3. And those are pretty bright, so I go back down to 0. I'll go down to 0.3 and then 0.7. I'll take photos in all of those different kinds of exposure compensation, and I'll choose which one has the best details in the highlights and the shadows. The best of two worlds, because if you were to go too bright, you won't have enough detail in the highlights. But if you were to go too dark, you'll have too much detail in the highlights and no details in the shadows. So you'll want to find that perfect fit. Just take different photos with different exposure compensations on your sunsets. You'll never know. You'll get the most details out of the sky where the sun is at, and you'll get the most details out of the shadows. So shooting like that, it'll just be the best of both worlds. Now I will show you one of the first pictures I took using none of these methods. Now I will show you a picture since I learned all these methods. It took me a while to get used to. It took me a while to think up of this little list. I'm pretty sure some of these are original to me, but I'm not too sure about that. But I hope you guys learned something from this. I mean, it took me a long time to learn from it. It took me 2-3 years to find out all of these tips to take better photos in sunset. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I really hope you guys use these tips for iPhone sunset photography. I forgot to mention that in the beginning. And have a nice day. Thank you.